2024, a year of war. The movie from Obama family, Leave the World Behind. Tell us what's in store. Where are we going, guys? What's going to happen in 2024? I'm going to talk that. We're going to talk this from the standpoint of predictions. Predictions are things you think could happen based on where things are going. It should be based on trend lines. People can predict anything, but this will be based on what's happening, trends, means, motives, and such things. And we're going to obliquely talk about prophecy. Prophecy is a whole different area, and I'm not a prophet. I may make a few little aversions to it, but that's not the meat of where we're going here. We're talking about what's on the ground, what's going down, what can happen this year. So buckle up, guys. 2024 stands to be a year that will change things more than any other year we've seen in our lifetimes. It looks like it's going to be a huge watershed year. The reasons I say that are the tensions for war are building. They're mounting around the world. The foundations upon which our economy are based look like more and more like a house of cards built on a beach of sand with a wave coming in and a wind, maybe a hurricane. The economy looks shaky. The whole world looks flaky. It looks like train wreck is coming. Will it come this year? Will this be the beginning of it? What is in store for you? There's also some good signs, but those good signs could cause bad actors to try to keep these things from happening, and they may be an impetus to other things that aren't so good. So, you have to look at all this and say, why is all this happening? How do we get in this situation? See, a lot of the whole, what I'm about to bring out and how I'm going to talk about depends on who the players are and how well they're collaborating. Are things being orchestrated by man or powers beyond us, good, bad, or ugly? Maybe from the looks of things, the prince of the world may not be the forces of light, and what they may have in store may not be right. Don't mean they're going to win in the end. I do not believe that. But the problem is, what do we got to go through to get to a better future? What are we going to lose along the way? How much is the world going to be reshaped? What do we have to endure? What do we have to survive? Okay, enough preaching. Let's talk about the world. Guys, all you got to do is look at the Mideast. I've been doing videos on this. The tensions between Israel and Hamas, Hezbollah, the entire Arab world, Muslim world, let me say it that way. The whole Muslim world is getting inflamed. Nations that used to be on the side of the West in Israel, because their populations are being unhappy of what's going on with Hamas, are changing. They're switching sides against the West and Israel. For better or worse, I'm not debating that right now. I'm just telling you, this is driving tensions. Pardon me, my camera's having a hard time focusing. Stay still a second, but anyway. Focus. Okay, there we go, guys. So have time did it for me. So, guys, this is, I don't have medicine tools with me. I am stranded in Planet Houston. More on that way. So, guys, there is a lot of tension that is going over the roof. This is like the genie is out of the box. Can you put it back? I don't think so, because the world is mad. One way or the other, the world is angry. A lot of people are angry. This is exactly what Hamas wanted. They wanted to be attacked. They wanted their land to be attacked to build world opinion against Israel, to bring Israel down. That was their goal, and their goal, and you may think, well, Palestinians are getting whooped real hard. Well, they're actually, one of the goals they set, winning. So what does Israel do? How does Israel respond when the enemy wants them to destroy the land they're from? You see what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm not taking sides. I'm just telling you, this is bringing the world to a precipice, because Hamas has got involved, the Houthis have got involved. This is probably being orchestrated by the likes of Iran and maybe even larger players like Russia and China. Russia and China gain from this. How much to gain? We've taken the eyeball off Russia, and Russia has turned around and hit Ukraine a lot harder. We've taken, for better or for worse, We've taken our eyeball off the East, where China is. No, not entirely, but we're using munitions that we might need to save for a bigger conflict down the road. We're shooting multi-million dollar munitions at $1,000 drones and missiles. So, and we don't have an unlimited supply of these things, but we're running out of the kind of munitions the Army uses. Now we're exhausting the types of munitions the Navy uses. Naval warfare is probably the last order of what we would face if China attacks the Philippines. The Philippines, and they're making a lot of wrecking along those lines. And the Philippines, we do have an ironclad treaty with. So we are treaty bound to defend the Philippines. Taiwan, that's iffy. But the Philippines is not. And we may wind up in it either way, even if we didn't engage with them. If we just let China have their way, it would seize the South China Sea, Taiwan. They would be able to seize a third of the world's global trade and dictate who goes through the South China Sea. Maybe they would charge tariffs or some kind of tax for a toll tax for anybody going through those sea lanes. Maybe they would inspect all the ships going through. Nothing else. Who went through, who didn't go through and seize resources that's within the exclusive economic zone many other nations has agreed to by long-term tradition and further extended by the UN Treaty, the Law of the Sea Treaty, which China signed, but China doesn't care about anything they sign, apparently. They do whatever they want because, in their opinion, might makes right. So far, that's not been disproven to them. Might makes right. They're getting the might, so they plan to do what they can. If it takes a fight, even. Of course, they would like to do it outside the world of fighting if they can. And you come to America, our society has been infiltrated with Confucius institutes, our colleges, the mindsets of Americans. A lot of it's on the side of China. A lot of it leans heavy in that direction. So we've got a lot of internal division in this nation. That's another thing. Civil war is a part of war. There was 2 movies that came out, like I mentioned earlier. Leave the World Behind, apocalyptic thriller, according to Netflix. Produced by the Obama family. Wow. Obamas talking about the kind of things we preppers talk about, which were like the last thing in the world they would want to give any credence to. Of course, they put their woke spin in it and other things like that. But maybe this is a way of them telling us at least what they expect and hope to come. That's a little different than some of the things I talk about in this channel. It's still, it hits the fan scenario. It could happen. But also there is another one that's come on the tail end of that call, that's coming out called Civil War, which has Texas and California teaming up, and the rest of the United States. Texas and California teaming up. Wow. That would be an odd couple. But anyway, so I'm having a hard time swallowing that. But guys, here we are. I'm rambling. Sorry about this. But I'm trying to set the stage here. So here it is, war. When you look at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, it has got more intense. The intensity is picking up. NATO countries are getting worried. Russia has blamed NATO for backing the Ukrainian attacks on Belgrade. Various NATO countries, Poland, Germany, especially Poland and Lithuania, really concerned about attacks coming on them. I've talked about how how Russia really wants to secure things out to on the north and south of the Carpathian Sea. So we're talking about really going back to where the Soviet Union used to be, or pretty close to it, if they could do that. Well, guys, these other militaries in Europe really aren't that good. They're not that big. Europe has not carried their water, and will the United States come in and back them up when we're also entangled in the Mideast and China? Could the United States do that? All I'm saying is the prospects for war are increasing. The prospects that could go nuclear are also increasing because Russia, they're not getting the advances they want. They may revert to nuclear weapons. They've lost a lot in Sevastopol, which is their naval base in Crimea. They've lost a lot of ships there lately. They're looking to open another naval base in the Black Sea. So as these are things that are going down. North Korea has just come out from Jong-un. Says, hey, we're not seeking reunification of the Koreas. We're in a state of war. If you reinterpret that very carefully, what he's saying is it's war, not a peaceful reunification. And in the course of war, you might conquer the other side. And that's probably what they would really like to do if they could manage to pull it off. North Korea has a huge army and lots of artillery. They could pummel Seoul into ashes with all the artillery. They could focus on it. Would they get hit back? How would it all play out? How much would the United States play into it, especially if we're distracted with the Philippines, or we're distracted with Taiwan? See, this is the thing. Once the shoes start dropping, it makes more sense for other bad actors to get involved because their adversary is spread thin and less likely to be able to concentrate on them, which makes, and we're already seeing this happen right now. A lot of actors are making moves they would not ordinarily do, thanks to moves that were initiated by Russia. Now we got Russia, we got Hamas, we got Hezbollah, we got the Houthis. The United States' attention is being diverted, it's being spread thin like peanut butter, a lot more like hot butter on a toast, very thin. And can we really go with everything in front of us? Our administration, oh yeah, we can walk, talk, and chew bubblegum at the same time, but we haven't proven that we could do either one of them very effectively, given what we did with Afghanistan and other such things. And see, other nations are looking at it. They're looking at how we pulled out Afghanistan, how we have talked a lot of talk about supporting things and doing things like we sent our big ships into the Mediterranean and the Persian Gulf and everywhere. And they sailed around and flew the flag. They sailed around and flew the flag. They sailed around and flew the flag, shot down a few bombs going on, but we haven't taken action against the players. Now, maybe there's a good reason for that, but we're beginning to look like a paper tiger. And paper tigers don't get a lot of attention. When you're a paper tiger, people move and do what they want to do, and they laugh at you. And right now, it looks like the laughing has started. Why else would a place like the Houthis be launching so much stuff? Other than, of course, to support their sponsors by getting us to waste and expend valuable missiles that might be used somewhere else. We need these missiles to defend our aircraft carrier strike groups when they go into the South China Sea, when they go around Taiwan or Japan, all of which are at risk. Oh yeah, and Russia is increasing their Pacific Navy quite significantly for some reason. Does this play in with the deals they've cut with North Korea and China? You see, guys, all these things are intertwined. We are talking world war. It's worldwide. North Korea and Russia are working with each other. We've got Iran and Russia, Iran and China. We got what's going on in the Mideast. There is a whole spectrum of things that are tying together and lining along the lines of BRICS nations and Western nations. But the Western nations seem to also be going into BRICS. It's like the United States has got fewer friends than we've ever had before. A certain president ran on the basis that he was going to improve international relations. The relations international the United States faces today are the worst we've had since probably prior to World War I. If that, probably the worst we've ever had in the world. The whole world, lots of the world is lining up against us with the BRICS. And the whole purpose of the BRICS is economic warfare. So that brings in the other specter. So we see that the chance for real hot warfare is increasing. But economic warfare is also on the increase. Economic warfare bring down our economy. Oh yeah, by the way, let me, if you don't think that these things are serious, what are you thinking? You got to get prepped. You got to get yourself ready. We'll talk about that more in a moment. But you've got to consider the things that you've got to do to take care of thyself. So check out, guys, my Patriot Supply. Go to prepwithgreg.com. If you go to prepwithgreg.com, you get a special offer here where you can get $60 off of 1 week supply of food that lasts 25 years. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, over 2,000 calories a day. These buckets can be buried. They're sealed buckets. The bags in them are sealed. They make perfect caches in case something happens at your place. You can easily bug out with them. They're lightweight, they're portable, they're stackable. You don't need shelves for these. I've even got some of these packed up in my living room with pictures on top of them. So can even be used for furniture. It's a beautiful, and these buckets, once you use the bucket, You can use it for other things that you might use a bucket for, especially in grid down, like dealing with some of your waste. But anyway, guys, or anything you want to put in a bucket. These are good buckets, guys. So there you are. My Patriot Supply. Go to withgreg.com. There's a lot of other prepping supplies in here. When you click on this and go to the store link. Enough said on that. Stop the screen. Let's get back to talking here. All right. So the economic aspects of this are inflation, deflation. There's many ways things could turn, but our economy is under attack by the BRICS. The dollar is under attack by the BRICS. And so it's not just our dollar. The whole Western world is riding on this. Even some of the Western nations are trying to throw in BRICS. We'll stand to lose. So why are they doing this? So America has not got many good friends right now. Why is that? And the problem also will be domestic. That's what I worry about more. What is going to happen right here at home? Will we have a civil war? Will we have terrorist attacks here in America? Will we have sleeper cells activated, which is pretty much the last thing I talked about. That's a special case of it, though. Almost a special case. So we have extremely good reason, including testimony from the head of the FBI, Christopher Wray. There are sleeper cells in this country. There are programs to hack us. We've seen the biolabs in Redding, California that the Chinese have. This wars in the past have been fought overseas. We're talking about now right here at home. So the sleeper cells could go after our infrastructure. They could take down our power grid. They could do permanent damage. Now, a lot of people are making assumptions based on this. There's two kinds of ways to look at this, two types of outcomes. There's the outcome that of a controlled, it goes down. And it goes down to benefit certain big players who are trying to orchestrate what they would like to see come about. And that may be a factor. I'm not saying yay or nay, because this platform wouldn't allow it if I did. So, but I don't think that's the only thing cooking, guys. Even if it is a factor, even if it is a driving force, I don't think that's the only driving force. There are powers that be, the set of Re, if you know what I mean, from the House of Klaus, that, would like to turn things in their favor, or the kind of world they want to see, where you will own nothing, have no privacy, and be happy, according to a video they put out, whatever that means, guys. So, and their forum of economics world, I said it backwards, figure it out, said that they're talking about cyber attacks, big time talking about cyber attacks. A lot of people think what's going to happen is we're going to have cyber attacks that bring things down but don't destroy the infrastructure, just make it look like it's destroyed. That things go down, and then they can selectively bring them back up as they want, and do as much damage as they want in the meantime, and basically change the world in that manner. I'm going to talk about some hopeful things in here too, guys. I got some hopeful things to talk about. So it's not all negative, not by a long shot. Okay, hang on. But so this theory is that they bring it down, selectively stand it up, and basically seize control of everything. But they supposedly want to keep things operational to some extent so that they can run their control systems, their surveillance systems, their CBDCs, their cameras, or face recognition, or all the systems that they would like to put in play to control you, control of your life, if you're permitted to continue to exist in their system, if they approve of you and one of their pet useless eaters. Yeah, imagine that. Well, if you're living on government money, this universal wage, and you're not in line with what they want, maybe you're not a favored pet. They might decide to call you. Maybe. I don't know. Speculation, guys. I have no idea. So, and I'm not saying this is the future that's going to happen, because they represent the West to some degree. No matter how you slice it, they are the West. And there's a whole lot of the world that don't like the West. Now, maybe they're collaborating at some higher level, or maybe the collaboration is beyond humanity. Dark forces, possibly. I don't know. But guys, it looks interesting how things are playing out. So you figure it out. The whole thing I'm talking about here is that some people think it's all going to be taken down in a controlled manner. This is where your preps, in these situations, your preps matter very much. Prepare to face things so you're not in catatonic shock when they happen. You got to be prepared. You got to be centered mentally, spiritually, and physically. And physical is the physical body, and physical as in financially too. It's two forms of that. And all that you need to set up as best as you can to endure the storms that are coming. I think this is going to be a stormy year in 2024. But there's good things too. There's some really strong good signs. Let me finish this line here. So the other thing is that's one set of thoughts. There's a set of, set of thoughts. Some of these people even that hear this say, well, there will be no EMP and things like that. What they can't control is the sun, which is getting very active right now. Miyake events, which can take down the entire grid. Now we're discovering a lot more frequent than we thought. Mankind don't do it. Mother Nature could put her lights out. Now, the kind of control system we're trying to put into effect, it might sound like a good thing to some people. I've had a lot of people say, hey, I'm off grid. I ain't got to worry about it. Well, the thing is, all those stinking nuclear power plants and those spent fuel rod pools are going to not have means, if that happens, to keep the coolant running, the water pumps. Some of those pumps may get fried by the event space if there's an EMP or terrorist activity, or at the very least, there ain't going to be no fuel coming to them. Beyond a certain point, those fuel pumps require electricity. What happens then? They go into meltdown. They go into meltdown. There's a lot more radioactive material in the spent fuel rod pools of these power plants on all the waterheads on Earth many times over. And unlike a nuclear war, which is over in a couple of weeks and all half-life is gone, these will keep giving. They're a gift to keep giving for decades and decades. You stay underground for 100 years and have everything you need and survive until all these plants cook off and it finally simmers down. Some of them think they got it. Do you? I seriously doubt it. Do they? I don't think it'll work. Personally, I don't think they can maintain those systems that long. No, not entirely self-running without everything breaking down. You get too many breakdowns. So I think they're in trouble. They probably don't know it. They probably bought into a false line of security, maybe because they've been lured in by greater, darker forces. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they're just stupid, or maybe it's avarice. But anyway, guys, so I'm not trying to pick sides here. I'm not trying to paint a theory. I'm just showing you a set of thoughts that are out there. Now, they're divergent. They don't all agree with each other. What we do see is the storm clouds in front of us are horrendous. That's undeniable, be it from economic warfare, the shakiness of the economy itself, our supply chains, how shoddy they're built, how everything is just in time, how war would totally disrupt all this stuff and an economy. Even if they didn't attack us here at home, we would be suffering from inflation due to supply chain being shattered. And if you think what happened with it happened back in late 2019, 2020, it's nothing. That's a Sunday school picnic. So the other specter is we have war. We get into it. It is the doctrine. In the doctrine. China, Russia, take down our power grid with an EMP attack. It's in their doctrine. If China, if we get the war with China, maybe the first thing they do. And a lot of people are speculating if they're going to invade Taiwan, they hit us first to take us out, all our stuff in the Pacific. So you can expect some EMPs over a Pacific fleet, maybe the United States. Some people say, well, they want to take America, so they want EMP it. Really? They can't take all of America when it would stretch them too thin. Maybe they'll take the left coast, which is already leaning in their direction, which has plenty of nug control, and it's closer to them. They might go for the West Coast, and it could explain Stacy Savicki's dream that I put on this channel, or the vision she had that she says was brought to her by the Lord, and she had a lot of confirming kind of stuff. And that's where we get into prophecy. She saw was two missiles coming up from the underbelly of the United States being launched from Venezuela that had nuclear weapons on them. It created EMPs on the East Coast and pretty much the center of the U.S., but not, at the space orbit level. So it would take out the East Coast in the middle of the country. But it didn't happen in the West. That was the dream she had. She didn't know what an EMP was. She called me up asking about it. We had a conversation. I've done a few videos with her about this. I was shocked at the level of detail and kind of knowledge that these visions imparted, which was, revealed to her in a way that was, shall we say, very interesting. That she should see these kind of things. So she, maybe it makes the validity a little stronger because she has no background in EMP. She never even didn't know what an EMP was. But she was a prepper and a homesteader. And I had a prepping homesteading channel, and I talked about that. She caught it and called me up and said, "Girl, what is this?" I just had this vision. So that explains why maybe the left coast wouldn't get West Wokistan wouldn't get hit. Maybe you got other plans for West Wokistan. The West Coast, the left coast. I call it Wokistan. East Wokistan would be New York, Washington, D.C. And we're all Indians in the middle. I've talked about that in a video. Overland, to be treated like Indians on a reservation. We're Indian, like India was Pakistan. One time, Pakistan was East Pakistan and West Pakistan. East Pakistan became Bangladesh, and West Pakistan became Pakistan. Okay? So that's just an analogy I made a long time ago. But guys, we're in trouble here in the middle of this country. Left coast and the right coast don't like us. But maybe okay because they can't live without us. Not really. They think they can. But they rely on us for food and everything else. So, and all the resources. The cities don't survive on their own. They require a large support structure. You cannot survive without it. And the cities tend to be woke when the rest of the country is broke. Been driven broke. But the rest of the country is, what we call undesirable, deplorable, supposedly. But they can't live without us. So that's the interesting aspect of one of them. The reason why they wouldn't fare so well in a war that's not too civil. I do not advocate civil war. It would be the ugliest thing you can imagine. The war in the 1860s, more America, it took for some of the recent conflicts for the totality of all American wars to equal that war. The Battle of Gettysburg took out nearly as many people as the entire Vietnam War. The Vietnam War took out 4,000 more. It's all over 12 years versus a 3-day battle in the fields of Pennsylvania. Hills and hills of Pennsylvania. Yeah. When Americans fight Americans, it can get very ugly. So we don't want a civil war. We may be facing one because of the deep divisions or because we're being pushed this way by the powers that like to set a reef, you know what I mean? Turn things around, put us in the ground, take over, take away more of our freedoms, our rights. Then it might make us more pliable to the CCP to come in. If we don't have nugs, you see what I'm saying, guys? You don't want a nug, just flip that around. It's my code language on this channel. I think the AI is getting too smart for this. My last video got demonetized, and I was so careful. But anyway, guys, I was so careful, trying not to step over the boundaries. I don't know what boundary I stepped over this time. So I actually pilled that one. But appealing that is dangerous because if you lose the pill, you have a hard time uplifting stuff afterwards. Very, very, very difficult. Takes lots of time. Breaking news, you might have the inside scoop. Maybe you just saw something. It might be a day before they would get through checking. By then, everybody in the world was talking about it. That happened to me. Had the inside scoop on something. By the time I finally got it where YouTube had posted, it wasn't even worth posting. It was old news. All right, guys. So here's the deal. So we're facing the prospects for a war or a conflict in which the controllers are in control and everything is shut down versus a bigger east-west deal where they all may agree to the same end goals, but what they haven't agreed is who's going to be sitting at the head of the table when the dust settles down. I don't really think that's more where we're at. When I see how things are east-west divided, I think that there's some total high-level congruence, maybe. I won't say I think it's possible. Or maybe we're just all at it to have war now. Maybe that's just a place we're at, but we're headed to war. War is going to be a big thing in 2024. And that's going to affect us here on one way or another. And the Iranians, when it comes to the power grid, well, they're not going to take down the power grid. Well, they have the Iranian Revolutionary Guard when told that all it takes is 9 particular substations being taken out to take down the United States grid, really burn it out and do permanent damage to it. His reply is, I've already got 20 targeted. for sleeper cells in the United States. And he said that years ago. But they've not had opportunity to slip more on the country since then. The Chinese haven't been sleeping people in the country. We didn't discover a biolab in Reedy, California. Oh, that biolab was there just to make us all feel good. Why is there possibly 20,000, possibly, according to sources, 20,000 sleeper cell members of the Chinese military in this country? Why are they buying farmland near military bases? It's just because they want to look, because they think it's beautiful. What do you think? We are in a pickle, guys. That's what I'm saying. But here's the other side, the flip side, the good news. This year there will be a change in government. Time because 60 nations are having elections this year, including all the Western democracies, apparently. Elections. And these are elections which may be earth-changing because the conservatives seem to be favored in most of these nations, just like Argentina just went to conservative, put a libertarian in charge. It's interesting, a libertarian president in Argentina. And he's went with a dollar. He's kind of bucking the other system. Not to say the dollar is perfect, not by a long shot. It's fiat money controlled by the U.S. Federal Bank, Federal Reserve. It's supposed to be federal, it's supposed to be a reserve, which is all fiat. Anyway, guys, it's a house of cards. So, but I guess that looks better to him than BRICS, which is autocratic nations run by imperialistic rulers. Just have to admit that. They're openly advocating support for imperial systems. Is that where you want to go for the future? No, it's not. But the good news is that the conservatives seem to be winning in the hearts and minds of people around us. People are waking up. That's the real hope. All this stuff going down, people are going, smell a rat in a wood pile. More and more people are waking up to this. It don't, the most people. Nations change on 10% of the population sometimes, getting really behind something. What happened with the Bud Light thing. See, there is hope. There's lots of hope. But the danger in that hope is the side that really wants to push things in the other direction. They see that coming, and they may do drastic things to avert that. If they don't want a certain guy it looks like there's some people in this country don't want a certain previous president to come back to office. They seem to be going over every case of China and the China shop to keep him from getting another step. You know what I'm saying? And that may be just a tip of the iceberg of what they're willing to do to maintain power. And people that are in power, people that have positions, be it in the affairs of state, affairs of other things, they don't want to give that up. And they will do everything to stay where they're at, to maintain their status quo, or maybe continue to promote that bigger system of control that some of them allegedly want to promulgate. Okay, guys, I have to talk in a lot of code here. Give me for that, because I get a lot of my videos demonetized. Even when I try to avoid stepping on the landmines that they tell you is a landmine on this platform, I still run into trouble sometimes. So I need your help. Subscribe to my channel, bang that update notification bell, and click all. Forward and share my videos. And check out the people I bring to you as my sponsors. Support my live videos. These all things help my channel and help me. But I don't know how long they will let me bring news to you like this. They may be a big clamp down. So social control, social media is at risk in the days ahead. Cyber attacks will come. There will be cyber attacks. There will be, that's a given. There will be, and it will be bigger and worse than any we've seen. But there are also, they may be in the shades of Leave the World Behind, or that non-EMP type scenario. Probably some of that may be launched on us this year. But that don't mean the EMPs won't come. It don't mean that some groups won't take out the power grids. Here's the thing about it, guys. You got to keep this in mind. A small group of people do this. A small group of people who are not aligned with all these other things, who are ideologically motivated, can destroy America by taking down the power grid. I could do it myself if I was supporting that, with just a handful of people in short order. If I could, so could hundreds, maybe thousands of us. I won't do it. I'm fighting to keep the grid preserved. I've chaired 2 power grid defense conferences. I'm just telling you, it is too easy. Too easy. A lot of people think that won't happen because it goes against the powers that be. Well, some people might do it just because they want to take that down. But there are ramifications that a lot of people don't appreciate vis-a-vis the spent fuel rod pulls at a nuclear power plant. So maybe that's why they don't fix this stuff. They want to keep that as some kind of leverage to keep us from doing what we might some people might otherwise do, not we, but some people. But like I said, I don't advocate any of that kind of stuff, guys. I'm trying to keep things secure and maintain freedom. That's why I promote the Freedom Restoration Foundation, freedomrestorationfoundation.org, which is a website I pay for out of my own pocket to give you guys the tools to chew on your Congress critters' ears, your state representative ears, and we're going to be bringing up legislative stuff. We're going to reset this organization and get our website updated soon. I got a new webmaster. My previous webmaster died. So give us a little time to get that reset. But if you scroll down to the Action Center page at the bottom, all the contact information is there and give you stuff, who to contact, how to do it. And we'll be telling you more about bills and legislation come up in the near future. So, my friends, these are the things we're looking at. I do believe there's hope. Some people are fatalists and, oh, well, we have no hope because this is all prophesied. Guys, Jonah was prophesied to, and prophesy about things that would happen to cities. Told to preach to them, the cities changed their hearts and minds, and they averted destruction. Prophecy is there to instruct you what might happen if you don't behave or do certain things. Supposedly, that's how some people look at it. The ultimate end game of the world will probably be the same, but how you land in it, where you wind up as this all plays out, how rough your roller coaster ride is, depends on you. To a large degree, you and us collectively. We can make our existence in the world go easier than it otherwise would if we just make sure that we're prepared. We can live outside the system. Things like goldbacks may be a thing to help. Check out defythegrid.com. Look at the goldbacks. You can get 1% off if you use the code GREENGREGS at defythegrid.com. These are all different things you can do. Get yourself ready, because 2024 is going to be a year of war and a year of landslide changes. Will the conservatives take the world back over and put a stop to all the nonsense? Or are they going to try to short circuit that? And it's going to get crazy. Of course, if they try to short circuit that, yeah, there might be a civil war. It seems that maybe that's what they want. And they're telling us that with the movies that they're coming out with. Maybe they're telegraphing to us what they really want. But it doesn't mean it's what they're going to get. That's up to you. That's my final message. We can be the masters of our future to a large degree, at least how we land within the bigger context, the bigger play. People survive. People have survived every war that's been fought. And there's people prospered in the worst of times, or at least weathered the winds. But you can't weather the winds unless you're ready for the winds. Up and pray. Be prepared. Survive another day. Eyes wide open, head on a swivel. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for watching, and Greg out.